This controversy between Nedu, the Honest Bunch, and VDM is looking like it's going to take a long time before it finishes. The Honest Bunch podcast was the toast of podcasts in Nigeria due to the caliber of guests they feature, like Pastor Fowewe, Apostle Damina, Showore, Peter Obi, Dr. Helen Paul, Dr. Chasapoki, Kanayo, lots of great guests that you want to hear from. But there are still times they bring some guests that I'm like, what is this? It was a celebrated podcast known for its controversial episodes until they aired the one where a guest said some very bad things about the very dark man, prompting VDM to open cans of worms about the chief host of the podcast, Nedu. VDM has alleged him of fraud, sexual misconduct, and disclosure of guest information. The Honest Bunch podcast as a whole is feeling the heat, and Nedu particularly, whom husband material likes to say that they drag him like generator. Now he's been dragged from left, right, and center, not only by VDM. The Honest Bunch podcast has brought great guests from all spheres of life, and they have had some meaningful discussions, which has not only entertained us sometimes, but also educated us. They've had guests and topics that I personally am not interested in listening to. For instance, the episode that caused the heavy rain that is raining all over now. D1 coming to discuss about VDM. When I saw that trailer, I was put off. I have not watched that episode and I will not be watching it because that's not what I go to the Honest Bunch for. It's just hits below the belt. It was just too petty for me. VDM has come out with lots of damning allegations against Nedu, which is tainting the podcast itself. And I see why Nedu will step away from the podcast, because the podcast has a lot of sponsors and people now call them the Dishonest Bunch. No brand wants to be associated with such a name. Everybody is accusing Nedu of atrocities using that podcast as a weapon. Say that Bunch came out with receipts about how her words were edited to now sound as if she said what she did not say. She showed us her conversation with Nedu, how she reached out to Nedu to correct what's happening. But nothing was done. Dr. Roy has once come out to defend himself after a trailer was aired before the full episode. And he was like, that is not what I said. I'm not bashing Messinchiwo, because people were coming for him. And one thing about this Honest Bunch editors, the people in charge of the editing, they are good. They are talented. But I wish they were using their talents in a profitable way. The guests will be giving their information. These guys will not even put it on the screen. I follow some of their guests. For instance, I found Dr. Chasapoki through the Honest Bunch podcast. I really liked his opinion. I went and followed him. I was like, these guys, I had to spell it. They will not put it, they will not display the guest name. But if it's to cut and join and make you say so seamless, they are very good at that. I will give it to them A+. But I think there should be ethical responsibilities. Not because you want to go viral, you not damage somebody's reputation. When they put their trailers out, the thing on the trailer, you will not see it what the person said on the trailer. You have to now, this is not what they said on the trailer now. You now see that they said something else. And the podcasters always quick to say, oh no, you listen to the full thing, don't just run with the trailer. But I think the trailer is deliberately misleading, because those controversial statements and hot takes go viral. You know, they say publicity is good, whether good or bad. So people watch and say, why would they say that? And they run and come and watch the full episode. I watch the Honest Bunch podcast a lot. So I don't watch trailers. When I see them on my notification, I watch. But when they kept talking about the trailers, I said, maybe it's high time I started watching trailers. And that's how I saved myself from seeing D1's episode. Because that trailer just told me that this is not for you. And the Mr. Nigeria's episode, when I saw his trailer too, I'm like, okay, this is not my thing. I'm not here for this. Then we have Lucky Udu coming out to say that he wanted to appear on the show just to revive his channel, which was being dragged down by some malicious comments, which I think Lucky Udu has a great program. I love his program. When I watched Kuchi Lady, tell me Kuchi, I was like, where has this lady been? When Lucky Udu aired that episode, I went and looked for her songs again because I love those songs. These are good memories. he helps them to come back to relevance, and people just start shading his brand. Lucky Udu came to tell us how he wanted to appear on the show, and Nedu asked him to come and disgrace himself and his brand on the Honest Bunch podcast. He chose not to do that because that was not the kind of person he was. That was not what he wanted, even at the risk of not putting his brand out there. Now we have Mr. Nigeria coming to say Nedu made him say what he said. That one weak me. Oh. How we sure tomorrow you not say Lucky Udu made you to say that Nedu made you to say what he said? It's all confusing. I can understand Mr. Nigeria is not in a good place mentally now. So I will just give him my little advice. You, as a big boy that you are, Mr. Nigeria, if you have a child and the child misbehaves, and then you are questioning the child and he says, oh, so and so made me do it, how will you feel? Would that look like a good excuse to you? 2, where are your principles? What are your values? What are your principles? What are a definite no for you? I can never do this. I can never say this in public or in private. Otherwise, anybody can make you say anything and you will be a person of no integrity. So even as an adult coming to tell us that somebody made you say something that there was no on your head to say it, you said it with your mouth. And the Honest Bunch has come out to say that nobody made you say it. You chose to say it. You brought your talking point and you said what you said. But I wonder why they did not come out to defend themselves against the other allegations. But they picked Mr. Nigeria's one and say, no, not because everybody is coming after us. You two will come after us. You said what you said. So even the Lucky Udu that was interviewing you, Mr. Nigeria, did you not see that when they asked him to come and fool himself, he said no? He walked away from that. Now, people are castigating the podcast. But let's be honest, was everything about the podcast really bad? Yes, there were some guests which I would not be an audience to. So I chose not to listen. Even if I mistakenly enter and I see, oh, this is where the conversation is going, I exit. That's not for me. Every topic has their audience. This podcast brought some respectable guests. Mr. Nigeria said he paid to appear on the show. But Dr. Charles Apoki said his flight was booked. He was taken care of because he was invited. It looks like, what are you bringing to the table? Are we benefiting from you or are you benefiting from us? If you are not benefiting from us as the podcast, you pay to play. If we are benefiting from you, we pay you for you to play, or at least we book your flight and hotel. So it's about the value, and it's not a bad thing to try to publicize whatever you're doing. Of course, you should publicize what you're doing, but not coming to say that they made you say it. But Oga, your grammar plenty sharp. This issue between the very dark man and Nedu has been going on for how long now? It's been dragging. One would think it would die out, but it has not died out, and it does not look like it's dying out anytime soon. The things that are alleged against Nedu, they are serious things. People come to your show because they trust you with their information. If you are holding a place of influence, respect the trust of the people that are following you. Celebrities are made by people. People celebrate you. People celebrate your work. That's why you're a celebrity. But when people stop celebrating you, you stop being a celebrity. So no matter the position you are holding today, the Bible says in 1 Corinthians 10 verse 12, let he that think he standeth take heed lest he falls. If you think you are up there, you are untouchable, take heed. Let Nedu's one be a cautionary tale for you. Nedu is very influential, but now look at what's happening. Do you think the Honest Bunch podcast will survive this whole thing? And if the podcast survives, do you think they will still go into controversies, or they will stay clear from controversy even though it doesn't give them views? And would you like to know if a guest paid to appear on the show? If you enjoyed this my small talk, please like this video and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.